Here's the thing, the most dangerous place for black people to live is in white people's imagination.
Exhibit A. Jason Walker, Fayetteville, North Carolina, January 8th. Off-duty sheriff Jeffrey Hash was driving his Ford F-150 with his wife and his child when he said the following occurred. Officer Hash says some strange man runs up and jumps on the hood of a truck. Now, you know how big a Ford F-150 is, right? It's a big joint, big tires on it. He said he jumped up on the hood of it and started attacking the vehicle. That's what the officer said. This man jumped up on his car in traffic, jumps up on top of his truck, and bashes in the windshield. And the officer was so afraid for his life, he gets out of the car and shoots the man several times in the back, killing him. Then he proceeds to call in the shooting and say he was attacked, he was fighting for his life, he was scared for his life. This strange black man jumps up on top of his truck. Had to do what he had to do. He had to put him down because it was either him or this black guy. And this black guy was probably gonna kill his whole family, and his wife, and steal his child. Who knows what's gonna happen? We know how dangerous these blacks are. This is broad daylight. There are other people there. A trauma nurse by the name of Elizabeth Ricks just happened to be there at the scene. And she tried to render aid to Mr. Walker. She tells the story a little different. She says the off-duty sheriff's deputy hits Mr. Walker, and Mr. Walker's walking across the street. Mr. Walker flops up on top of the hood of the truck with the momentum of being hit by the truck. Hash gets out of his truck and shoots the man in the back. Oh my God, what a conundrum. We have ourselves a stalemate. Now, was it possible this officer didn't realize, because he's driving a big truck, is it possible he didn't realize he hit this man? Not that this man voluntarily jumped up on top of the truck? Is it possible that he kind of got things a little screwy? Am I giving this man too much credit? What person would jump on top of a moving vehicle? Someone they don't know. Someone they don't owe money to. Someone who doesn't owe them money. So that's how crazy they are saying Mr. Walker is. Mr. Walker is so crazy, he's totally out of his tree. And that this man is so scary that the officer who's in this 2-ton machine, this tank, steel and iron, and a working engine that allows you to pull forward and back up, decides instead of pulling forward or backing up or swerving or just staying in his car, and look, he's afraid. He doesn't shoot at the windshield where the guy he said that he's describing as such a maniac that he's trying to come through the windshield. No, he doesn't shoot from inside of his vehicle into him. He gets out of his truck, walks around to the front, and shoots the man in his back. Several times. We still don't know how many times the man was shot. If you heard this story, you automatically brought this sheriff's rendition of what happened, his version of events. You think that black people are some type of arch villains out of a Marvel comic book. Yeah, you do. You think Mr. Walker is some type of villain come to attack off-duty cops and try to enter vehicles through windshields. I think he killed this man maliciously in broad daylight, and he's lying about it to cover his ass after hitting the man. I don't think he meant to hit the man, but I think once he hit the man, he concocted the story pretty quickly about how he was gonna get out of this one. My real concern is not this officer so much as it is the people that believe it. You actually think that this is what black people do. Somewhere in the back of the recesses of your mind, somewhere in there, in your bigotry Rolodex, or your cerebral Negro cortex, or your filing cabinet of thoughts and stereotypes and misconceptions about black people, somewhere in there, file 62.3. You believe that black people are that deranged, that wild, furrow even. So you would believe I would do such a thing instead of just admitting or believing that maybe this guy maybe I got hit by the vehicle and fell on the hood. Very basic, like very simple. Very simple explanation. Almost too simple, right? It's gotta be some dastardly deed. Has to be some contrived nonsense. Some storyline that you could follow in a Marvel comic book. This is where we are. So, all the high hopes you guys had about 2022 being a different type of year, it's starting off not so good. I'm gonna tell you like this. Since we live in America, people do crazy things all the time. If by some strange reason Mr. Walker jumped on the hood of this Ford F-150, I don't think it took 4 shots to get him down.